Welcome to OWAD today. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue unpacking me-related characters. And this time we have guān that got this head image and measured head with this cover. What could that be? It's a Chinese way to elaborate way to say a hat. So basically, we are telling the story of where this thing is. It has to be on top of your head. This is, okay, if you know Chinese ancient version a little bit, Chinese is a profile view of humans. So here you see is the arm or the front side of the body. And this longer linear, not linear, like a streamlined line is the back torso that got more bumps ins and out, more curves in the back. And so this is a Chinese way to describe a human. And then this two horizontal line doesn't mean we cut the head off. No, it's a marking, the indication, marking that we're talking about right above the neck. I mean, that's exactly the top of our head, right? So here, if we say here is about the neck, then this second horizontal line is the place like on top, even on top of our tip of the head. So this horizontal line marks the highest point of a human. And then this means on top of that. That's my interpretation. Okay, that's yuan. Yuan normally means the head portion. So the whole globe thing. And then the right side is cun. We have a three-finger hand symbol, looks like that. In the contemporary Chinese, it's kind of straightened out into this cross thing. That's totally different. But we used to have this three-finger symbol like that. And then one horizontal line, that's an indicator or pointer, point down to 1 inch down of the wrist. That's a special point on your body. Pressure point for ancient Chinese doctors to, before the contemporary devices to check out how your biomarkers are doing. This was the ancient version, just 2 inches down, and then pulse reading. A lot of symptoms can be told from that. So this eventually, from medical practice, carried over to all kinds of practice. That means you have to measure. When you do something, you have to be very specific, meet up to the standard. Otherwise, it's going to fail. So I guess this is the optimal location. If you go too close or too down, you're not going to read it accurately or easily. So this measured placement on top of the head with this cover thing. The whole thing was talking about the hat. The reason why it has to be measured is because what kind of hat was a big deal in ancient times. Like today, we just wear hat as like functional or aesthetic, right? Or somebody who maybe not having, they don't want to expose their skull much, so they want to cover it, right? In any case, it serves as a function and it's a personal choice. But in ancient times, it's all measured. What kind of hat you can wear? Kind of associated with your profession, line of work, your social status, and even more importantly, if you working in the government, you have to wear that particular rank marking hat. You cannot wear the wrong hat. You cannot almost like showing your wrong identity to the public if you're a government official. So that's why hat has to be measured, placed on top of your head. So in that case, it's not really a consumer item. It's not, massively produced and you can wear however you want, free choice. It was measured. It was dictated by the society, what kind of hat you wear. Okay, 衣冠楚楚. Few episodes ago, we talked about 衣冠冢. That's the grave, only contains 衣, clothing or apparel. 冠, your hat. So see, your hat is one of your major identity. what type of hat under that grave? It's almost like, I guess, the dog tag on a deceased shoulder for Americans, that through that you can read like who was the owner of this tag. Therefore, we can identify. But in Chinese back then would be, I guess, clothing probably is also a marker of your social status. And then your hat. So those are, I guess, societal print on your individual. So when you die, the stripped societal labels then put in the grave if they couldn't get hold of your body. So that's what preserved you, at least a part of their societal identities back then. Now, we're not talking about the 衣冠冢 this time. This is a living person. 衣冠, you're still wearing clothes, your hat, and 楚楚. Well, this is something that me as a language user never thought about. I always use this phrase, like 4 of them together, and I know the end meaning. That means that somebody who dress sharply, well-groomed. So I understand this expression, set phrase in a context. But then, what is 楚楚? I know what is 衣冠. Why 楚楚 give you this sharpness, cleanliness, tidiness, like a perfectionist way of dressing? Well, it turned out 楚楚 was a type of, I think it's called vitex. It's a type of plant in southern China. The kind of prickly that you don't want to mess with. And the way they grew is tightly grouped together, a big bush. And I guess ancient landscaping make them very sharply cornered and tidy as a landscape. So we use that landscape, well-maintained, well-pruned, to transfer that to well-groomed. And 衣冠楚楚 normally describe a guy. We don't see that expression used on women that much. And 衣冠楚楚 actually often talks on the second layer meaning, which is what you see this sharply dressed young man or old man, man presentation, oftentimes with a facade that's hiding something from you. So it's almost like a clue when you read that in a novel describing a character. If you see somebody 衣冠楚楚, you know underneath it's something really bad about this person, this character. All right. So somebody who maintained their appearance very well to achieve certain purpose, try to scam people, possibly, or it could be a really well-maintained personal hygiene, perfectionist, and then psychologically odd in a certain way, right? So all kinds of possibilities. As long as you see this 衣冠楚楚, yes, it means a sharp, but it also means, well, you probably don't want to take this person at the looks, at the appearance level. There is a more layer underneath. Okay, 怒发冲冠 is a very dynamic expression in Chinese to describe when you get pissed. Like this kind of amp out your piss level so that you're angry here. 怒, angry here. 冲, rush toward your head. So it's almost like a cartoon animation moment when somebody get pissed. Their hat will fly off as if they have steam coming out of their head. And then they couldn't hold their anger internally. They have to let out the vent of the boiling blood inside them. So that's 怒发冲冠, Chinese equivalent imagery. Okay. 冠军, you notice here I marked the pronunciation differently. Normally it's pronounced as 冠. And here, 冠军. Turn 冠 flat tone into 冠. Make the noun, the hat, becomes the action. So what is the action of a hat? Is to get the hat, meaning somebody is the winner, somebody get the championship, and they got the ultimate winning hat. So 冠军 means gaining the hat. And I'm not sure about the 军 on here. Probably we're talking about in military terms here. 军 means army of things. So 冠军 means the army who are able to winning the hat or the crown, to defeat the opponent, to get to defend or occupy a new land, things like that. So 冠军, probably in ancient times is that. Here, 冠, falling tone, action word. So what would be a good representation? Better than the high hat or top hat that used to be in Western history to show, I guess that's a social status symbol as well, right? I'm not sure if the taller the hat or the material of the hat kind of signify what type of class background that person is, but it's kind of equivalent of the Chinese particular meticulous obsession about doing it right, measured, place it on top of your head. That's guān. Thank you for your time. See you another day.